Hello, my name is Fred Mankey, and I'm here to talk a little bit about tax compliance as it relates to the congressional connection opportunity that many of you have probably explored at some level at this point. I spoke to Daryl last week a little bit about what his plans were for introducing this through the Pollmasters team. And I've been working with Pollmasters probably for 3 years now, I believe, and all this. Been working a little bit less for him since, I guess, a year and a half. Made some changes. I know that I personally have really enjoyed the opportunity, and I'm hoping that the Congressional Connection provides similar camaraderie and teamwork as Pollmasters did. But in any case, when I spoke to Daryl about Pollmasters, I was asking him some questions regarding tax compliance, and I think through that conversation, he recognized that I have a fairly extensive background in corporate accounting and finance. And as a result, he asked me to put together something that would explain very briefly what would be required of his involvement and eventually yours in the congressional connection opportunity. So, without further ado, we talk about W-9 form. Now, W-9 is required by Daryl, essentially. And the IRS requires Daryl to collect some basic information from you regarding anyone that he pays money to. And at some level, there's a minimum amount involved, but most companies will report for everyone that they pay anything to, a 1099. So when Daryl reports 1099s for payments made to people that he works with, the IRS will ensure that he has on file a copy of a W-9. And a W-9 really is the only thing that you, as a agent working for Daryl, need to provide to him in order to make sure that he has complied with the IRS regulations regarding the folks that work for him. And it's a real simple form. I have given Daryl a document that has copies of all these forms you're going to talk about. There's only 3 of them. And I'm sure he'll give that to you. I tried to put a picture here of the forms themselves, the document on my phone, but I guess that's impossible to see. And I was right. I'll try it again. I don't know why I do these kind of things. Like, you really know better. So we'll just forego that and talk about it. But basically what you give them is your name, your address, whether you're exempt from reporting a federal income tax for whatever reason, the signature. Typically, an employer, not really employer is the wrong term, but the payer, the person that pays the money out, will also require that you provide some documentation so that when the IRS comes looking to make sure that he has what he needs to identify who you are, you're not just filling it out for somebody else and you're a fraudulent person. Just basic state ID, driver's license, Social Security. The instructions will be on the form. And I know that you've all done this before. I'm sure that we did it when we started working for Pollmasters, whenever that was. And it is a one-time only thing. So once you're done with that, you're done with it. And as I said, Daryl will not only have a copy of what that form looks like, but there'll be a clickable link on it. So if he sends it over to you, you can just look at the form. It'll say right here, click on this link. Click on the link, print it down from the IRS website, make a copy, email it to Daryl, and you're done. And it really is very straightforward. The second form that I'll talk about is a very similar instrument in the sense that it's called W-3, and it's really the same exact thing if you were to be operating not as an individual but as a business. And I bet there's probably no one, the possible exception of myself, who would want to use that form. I was talking to Daryl about the opportunity to do that. And so, say for example, I work as a subchapter S corporation. I can report it that way, and then Daryl can give my company, IMMI, or Internet Marketing Management Incorporated, a 1099 at the end of the year, and then sort of bypass me as an individual to some degree. I have to sign the form and say that I'm controlling shareholder. I really don't want to get into this because, as I said, unless you are working as a business, it most likely does not apply to you. And so, for the most part, probably should just ignore all of this. And then the last form would be 1099. And 1099 is a little different than the other two in the sense that, one, you get one every year, not just a one-time form. And two, it's Daryl's responsibility to send it to you. And I can talk to him at some point in time about the due dates. I have an example on the tax compliance document that I'm sending with this email to Daryl, and I assume that he will forward to you. But you don't really need to worry about doing anything other than waiting to receive one from Daryl. And that will only be in the event that you earn money or have received money, have money paid to you during 2024. Excuse me, 5. But we only have, I guess, 30 some days left, right? So I don't know how quickly all this cranks up with respect to the congressional connection, but I anticipate that it's relatively unlikely that you'll even receive one of these until January of 2027 for the payments made during the year 2026. But you all got a million of them. This is mine from Wholesale Communications last year. It did look like, and you get them in January. There's tons of them all over the place. So, as far as tax compliance, that is about it. It's pretty straightforward. And again, I think this will make a lot more sense when you receive the document, because it'll have copies of the forms and the link that you need. Now, really, all you do, as I said, really for 9/10 of you folks, you see that first W-9 form, look at it, click on the link, hit a download, fill it out, and it probably is filled out by hand, printed and filled out by hand, and scanned and sent back, because they want to make sure you got your signature on there. And there'll be requirements with respect to identification as well, in order to make sure that Daryl complies with the law that the IRS puts forth regarding folks that pay out money to individuals like us. Fred Banky is a name. You can see it right here. And if you have questions individually, copy it down. You can send it to my email address, which is fredbanky@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Fred Banky. We do, I don't know, all kinds of stuff here. I have some grandchildren, and I've been involved with USA Wrestling for a long time. A little bit of political commentary as well. So we do have a Facebook account. Send me a friend request, and we'll take it from there. But if you have any questions, you can also go that route in addition to fredmanke@gmail.com. That's FREDMAHNKE@gmail.com. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure working with you over the last, not sure how many, I think it's 3 or 4 years. But time flies when you're having fun. Have a great week. I'm out.